Hey everybody, welcome to the Morning Devo with Bo-O. It is 9:41, a little late today, but we're in July 20th and going to get into the book of Job, chapter 6 today, and kind of read Job's reply to his buddy Eliphaz. And that'll be cool. We'll see kind of what it says and what we could kind of glean from it, right? And just continue to walk through the Bible. So let's go through it. Maybe we go through 2 chapters today. Who knows? We'll see how quick kind of we go. You could always check out the archives at my YouTube channel, at Bo-Willette. Again, I just truly believe that sometimes just reading through the Bible is the best thing you could do. And I know a lot of times we listen to a lot of pastors and we tend to get real pastor happy, where you go, man, I love that pastor, I love that pastor, I love that minister. And instead of maybe just walking through the word, yourself and going through it and certainly going through it with a pastor. No, hey, nothing's wrong with that. That's what we're doing here, of course. And that's good. But, what we want to really learn to adore and just be kind of taken back by is the Bible itself and the God of the Bible, right? And not us human beings, that are maybe breaking it down or showing some things out. We want to grow in our kind of love for God. So Job, there's always that backstory to always remember. And let's get into Job 6. Job's reply to his friend. You have a friend who is chatting with you, giving you all the theology, giving you all the breakdown of why things are happening the way they are in your life. You're kind of reaping what you're sowing, bro. That kind of talk. Yeah, that could be true. Yeah, we do reap what we sow. But in Job's case, it wasn't true, right? He wasn't reaping what he sowed. Everybody thought that, hey, all the calamity that happened to him, all the bad luck that we say, all the bad karma people say in our world, our culture, was a product of Job just, really not doing it right, really not doing life right. Maybe, because we know God destroys the wicked, but he certainly prospers those that are righteous. That's the kind of idea, right? So Job replies, "Oh, that my sadness and my troubles were weighed. For they are heavier than the sand of 1,000 seashores. That is why I spoke so rashly." He's just saying, man, I'm speaking out of insane grief. Is there when people talk to me, do I kind of realize the situation that maybe they're in? Like, maybe they're in a really tough situation. And maybe they're coming at me like Job's coming at his friends, his 3 buddies, with this idea of my sadness and troubles. If you put them on a scale, it's really heavy. It's really heavy on the heart. And maybe that's why they say what they say. And sometimes we just have to listen to that. There's nothing we could say to it. We could try to respond and like Eliphaz and give some doctrinal thesis, but there's nothing to do. Sometimes someone's grief is so heavy that they just are talking through it. They're talking and it's just a lot of heaviness. And it says that's why he spoke so rashly, right? So Job says, hey, this is why I'm speaking. This is why I've spoke that way. For the Lord has struck me down with his arrows. He has sent his poisoned arrows deep within my heart. All God's terrors are arrayed against me. Notice that he now is starting to talk about the deity. Hey, God's sent his arrows my way. Don't you talk about God like that, you might think. But Job does it. Maybe God's bigger than I think. Maybe God can take kind of, the verbal assaults that I might throw his way. Or maybe the things that I attribute to him, right? Job attributes the troubles that he has, not to Satan, but to God. And he says, when wild donkeys bray, it is because their grass is gone. Oxen do not low when they have food. A man complains when there is no salt in his food. Amen. And how tasteless is the uncooked white of an egg. My appetite is gone when I look at it. I gag at the thought of eating it. Oh, that God would grant the thing I long for most, to die beneath his hand and be freed from his painful grip. So again, everything's directed towards God, right? He gives this analogy of the donkeys, right? When do they do this? It's because they got no food. When do the ox do this? Because they got no food. This kind of idea. I'm like a plate of food with no salt. Pretty. The idea of, I guess, no flavor. Things aren't going good. Things aren't appetizing right now. Things don't look well, right? They seem awful. Just want to gag at it, right? Kind of like that Valley Girl thing. Remember that? Gag me with a spoon? I don't know if you remember that Valley Girl kind of quote, but it reminds me of that. Job's like, dude, just gag me, right? I don't want to eat that thing. That's horrible. That's how my life is. It's just jacked, like a bunch of food that looks really bad. And so I hope you see that we all have talked like this before. Like the way Job's talking, even so long ago, is very similar to us, where we do tend to blame God and tend to look at God as the ultimate cause of what's going on in our life. And we do, nothing's wrong with that. It's okay to say, hey, God, you've done this, you've allowed this, however you express that. But just know that a lot of times we don't know the backstory. We don't know everything, just like Job doesn't know everything. And his friends don't know everything. They don't know, chapters 1 and 2. So he asked God once again to die and be freed from the painful grip. Yeah, sometimes our pain is so great, right, that you want to just die. This at least gives me comfort despite all the pain. Comfort in pain. Interesting. Might want to think about that one a little bit. Can you have comfort in pain? It says that I have not denied the words of the holy God. Oh, why does my strength sustain me? How can I be patient till I die? I am unfeeling like stone. It is my flesh made of brass. It's my flesh made of brass. I am utterly helpless without any hope. Wow. No hope at all. You become hopeless, right? Give up. it's the end. I am like a rock. I got no feeling. I don't feel anymore. And have you ever been at that stage of the game? You almost get a sense from the book of Job that we're kind of can evaluate these like in a almost like a modern day psychological way. Like there's, this step, there's that step to it. There's another level of grief. And, you can almost like categorize all this stuff that Job's saying of kind of where he's at. It'd be quite a book written if it was written from that perspective. But, you can get to a place where you're just beyond feeling. You don't feel anymore. And this is where this is what he's describing. One should be kind to a feigning friend, but you have accused me without the slightest fear of God. My brother, you have proved as unreliable as a brook. It floods when there is ice and snow, but it is hot in hot weather. It disappears. Man, you're like a brook that's flowing all good when things jamming, but when it's hot out and the trials come, you're like a brook that just literally dries up. And notice he says, hey, Eli, you got no fear of God. You just outright blamed me. Wow. Help me not to blame. That's so good, right? Help me not to blame. Help me take responsibility. Blame is never good, right? Looking at others, it's your fault. Well, no, what is my decision? What am I doing? Take responsibility, for my actions. That's tough for us human beings because we like to kind of blame the world for our ills. Why am I this way? Why do I do the things I do? And it kind of justifies our behavior instead of just going, yeah, that's just not right. It's my bad decision making. It says one should be kind to a feigning friend. Hey, am I kind to a feigning friend? What is my kindness like today? Is that a part of, my life, being kind? It says that the fruit of the Holy Spirit is kindness. It's in there, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, right? So we know kindness is supposed to be in our lives. Is it in there? And it says, the caravans turn aside to be refreshed, but there is nothing there to drink, and so they perish. Right? Caravans turn aside to drink, but nothing's there, right? You turn to your friends for help, and there's nothing there. What a bummer. Can I be a friend to people? Can I be an ear to people? Good question. When caravans from Tema and from Sheba, it says, when they stop for water, their hopes are dashed. Again, no water to be found, no refreshment to be found. And so my hopes in you are dashed. You turn away from me in terror and refuse to help. But why? Have I ever asked you for one slightest thing? Have I begged you for a present? Have I ever asked your help? All I want is a reasonable answer. Then I will keep quiet. Tell me, what have I done wrong? So Job answers back to Eli. Hey, what have I done to you? Have I done anything to you? That would, mean that you have to criticize me, or you have to, pick me apart like you are. And, I must say, man, we, picking apart our lives, we're just not very good at doing that, like picking apart other people's lives, right? Kind of, when you're, talking about other people and you start picking apart everything, it's just never a good thing, right? It just doesn't work well. A lot of times I just have no clue. Like I don't know what's best for them. All I could say is, man, hey, we can, grow in this, grow in our understanding of Jesus. Messiah, but picking apart everybody, I don't know if that's going to help us much, probably not. Why have you judged wrongfully? You get the idea. Job's kind of going that direction. And there is some warning there in the Bible about us judging wrongfully, unrighteously, and to be careful about that. So that's something to think about this morning. Do I judge unrighteously? And so Job demands an answer. He says he'll keep quiet, after he gets the answer that's he's satisfying to him. It says, it is wonderful to speak the truth, but your criticisms are not based on fact. Ooh, interesting. Is what I'm thinking based on fact? Or is it based on fiction? Ooh, that's interesting, right? How many of our hearts are weighed down based on a farce? Not even on really the truth. Yeah, that's radical, right? And throughout a day, all I really can know is kind of what I am doing at the moment. You know what I mean? Like that moment. Sometimes even in a day, like if you ask me, how that conversation went 7 hours ago, it's like, I'm regurgitating. And to regurgitate, something, there's a potential there to get it wrong, to convey something that's not quite as accurate as it really was. And, but how many of us, we convey it wrong, we share it wrong, right? And then people's hearts are, weighed down, not based on the facts. It's really good for us to speak the truth in love. And boy, would that be a good thing for us humans to be able to do, to speak the truth. And kind of that's kind of where we want to go in our conversations. Hey, God, help me to speak just what is true. And if I don't know, maybe I just shouldn't say. And if I'm not totally sure, then maybe I just shouldn't say that. Maybe what I'm going to convey right now is more emotion of what was said than really what was said. And maybe I'm going to convey in an emotional way that's going to be taken as not really what was factually said. And so you could see how we can really, maybe overshares the word, but maybe we share just too much, and we convey something very emotionally because we're emotional, and we get it wrong, right? So are my criticisms of other people based on facts? Are you going to condemn me just because I impulsively cried out in desperation? That should be like injuring a helpless orphan or selling a friend. Oh gosh, selling a friend, selling out a friend? That doesn't sound good, right? Injuring a helpless orphan, right? Someone who's crying out for help, someone who's needy, and you just, go at them. You beat them while they're down. You get them while they're down. Look at me. Would I lie to your face? Stop assuming my guilt, for I am righteous. Don't be so unjust. Don't I know the difference between right and wrong? Would I not admit if I had sinned? So Job gets from Eliphaz, or Eli for short, that he's being critiqued or criticized as a sinner, as someone who has sinned and being judged for his sin. And Job says, no, I'm righteous. I've done the right things. What do you accuse me of? Wouldn't I admit if I had sinned? And that's a great line, by the way. I love that last line. Wouldn't I admit if I had sinned? Oh man. just remember the Lord's Prayer, what we call the Lord's Prayer, right? Father, forgive me of my sins, right? Something that we have to come to God daily. Father, forgive me for my greed. Forgive me for this behavior. And help me to forgive those who sin against me, right? Admitting our sin. Oh, yeah, such a tough thing for us humans to do, but so needed. It's needed to free us of that, those guilty moments, those moments of feeling so yucky, because we know we're blowing it, right? We're not in a good spot. And so just admitting that we have sinned. And so, interesting. Job's reaction to Eli is pretty strong, but it's pretty direct, right? And we'll see how this is going to go on. Chapter 7 is very similar, and it's still we can read it if you want. Maybe that's what we'll do, is just read it and see how chapter 7 goes, because it's pretty short. It says, how mankind must struggle. A man's life is long and hard, like that of a slave. How he longs for the day to end, how he grinds on to the end of the week and his wages. And so to me also have been allotted months of frustration. With these long and weary nights, when I go to bed, I think, oh, that it were morning. And then I toss till dawn. Wow. We've all been there, where you're tossing all night, right? Where you're just like, man, and these are months have gone by, right? All the calamities that have happened to Job. So we get it right here in chapter 7 that this has been a long time. There's some space in between these calamities that have happened to him. But he's restless. He can't sleep. Ooh. It says, my skin is filled with worms and blackness. My flesh breaks open, full of pus. My life drags by day after hopeless day. My life is but a breath, and nothing good is left. You see me now, but not for long. Soon you'll look upon me dead. As a cloud disperses and vanishes, so those who die shall go away forever, gone forever from their family and from their home, never to be seen again. And let me express my anguish. Let me be free to speak out of the bitterness of my soul. So this is what it's like to share with a hard heart, with not a hard as in hard against God, but a bitter heart, going through hard times. And that's how we should take what Job's saying. And this is how we should take what other people say when they're going through difficult times, that they might be really just so grieving that they're expressing it in their talk. Oh God, I am some monster that you never leave me alone. Am I some monster that you never leave me alone? Even when I try to forget my misery and sleep, you terrify my nightmares. Wow. I would rather die of strangulation than go on like this. I hate my life. Oh, let me alone for a few remaining days. What is mere man that you should spend your time persecuting him? Must you be his inquisitor every morning and test him every moment of the day? Why won't you let me alone till I swallow down my spittle? I have sinned. What shall I do and tell thee, O thou preserver of men? Why hast thou set me as a mark against thee, so that I am a burden to myself? Notice he's ranting so much. Oh, I have sinned. Oh, I have gone these directions. So Job starts kind of, you see him kind of really in such, I think, grief that he really just starts going off on God, right? And we kind of look at that and we go, wow, man, you're not supposed to talk that way to the Almighty, man. Kick back a little bit, You're supposed to, when you pray or, talk about God, aren't you supposed to, be reverent, But Job, man, a lot of people, I think, would look at this kind of behavior, this kind of attitude, and they would go, man, something's wrong with this guy. But yeah, something is wrong, right? He is grieving. And notice verse 20, I have sinned. What shall I do unto thee? You know, and it's the idea is, has my sin harmed you, O God, watcher of mankind? You know, that's the Living Version, right? Has my sin harmed you? You know, why have you made me your target and made my life so heavy of a burden to me? You know, this kind of idea. Have I gotten to you somehow, God? Have I done something so radically different than other people on the earth that you would just hone in on me and just go, you're the object of my wrath? You know, this is how Job's going about things. He's in this, in a sense, this huge, I don't know if they call it a diatribe or whatever, with God, you know? And he says, why not just pardon my sin and take it all away? For all too soon I'll lie down in the dust and die, and when you look at me, I shall be gone. Wow. So Job's grief just continues. And so we're going to see a reply now. And this is a reply from another friend of Job. We heard from Eli. Now we're going to hear from Bildad. And we'll see kind of how he takes what Job is saying. All right, and his conversation is, if you will, verbally, going at God, and we'll see if we're like Bildad, and or if not. So, again, let's remember who we're talking to. Let's remember the context, maybe what they're going through. Let us be patient. Maybe not be like Eli, where we try to figure it all out, because maybe we just can't figure it out. Maybe we don't know what exactly is going on. And maybe we're just going to have to point people to God and just pray for them, and that's it. It might not seem like much, but maybe that's it. Maybe we just need to sit with people, just hold their hand and just love on them and not try to give them some theology lesson. So, yeah, very interesting. Maybe a little different than what we think in this kind of psychoanalyzing culture that we're in, where we're trying to figure everybody out and everything out. Wow. Well, a cool time. Thanks, Casey, for joining me this morning. Paula, thank you so much. And those that I know are busy doing Vacation Bible School today, hope you get to check this out later on. So as always, you guys have a great one. Friday tomorrow. So take care, okay? Bye-bye.